Welcome back to Bedtime Stories for Adults. I am so glad you've joined us tonight. Before we begin, settle into your pillows, let your shoulders drop, and leave the weight of the day behind. Tonight, we step back in time to the 1920s, to board a train of velvet and wood, as we journey across a rain-soaked Europe. It is nearly 10 o'clock in the evening, and Paris is wet tonight. You are standing on the platform of the Gare de Lyon, and the air around you is thick and cold, and alive with the smell of coal smoke and rain-soaked stone. The great glass ceiling of the station arches far above your head, and the rain hammers softly against it, like 1,000 small, patient hands, asking to come in. Gas lamps line the platform in long, amber rows, and their light trembles slightly, not from any wind, but from the slow, enormous breathing of the engine that waits ahead of you. You can see it from here. The locomotive. It stands at the head of the train like something ancient and self-possessed. Great iron wheels, taller than a man, resting in perfect stillness against the track. And yet, it is not entirely still. Steam rises from beneath it in long, white billows, curling upward, dissolving into the dark above the platform, and the hiss of it reaches you where you stand, low and steady, like the sound of the world exhaling. HSSSSSSSS. You pull your coat a little tighter. The rain has found the gap between your collar and your neck, and it is cold, genuinely cold, the kind of October cold that reminds you that the year is ending, that the long, golden warmth of summer is now only a memory tucked somewhere far behind you. Around you, other passengers move in quiet clusters. A porter in a dark uniform wheels a brass-fitted trunk past you without a word. A woman in a long gray coat adjusts her gloves and looks down the length of the train with calm, unhurried eyes. Somewhere further down the platform, a door opens, and for just a moment, you hear the faint murmur of voices from inside the carriages, warm, indistinct, like a conversation in the next room as you drift towards sleep. You take a step forward, and then another. The rain is falling harder now, not violently, but with a kind of quiet persistence. It streaks down in long silver lines through the lamplight, and it taps against the shoulders of your coat, against the brim of your hat, against the platform beneath your feet in a soft, continuous rhythm that seems to slow everything down, to soften every edge. You reach the steps of your carriage. A uniformed attendant stands at the door, and he nods at you once, a small, dignified nod, and gestures inward with one white-gloved hand, as if inviting you not merely onto a train, but into something else entirely, into warmth, into stillness, into the particular piece of a journey already decided. You reach up and take hold of the brass handrail. It is cold beneath your fingers for just a moment, and then you lift your foot to the first step, and the second, and you pass through the doorway. And the rain is behind you now. The warmth of the carriage meets you like a slow wave, not sharp or startling, but gentle, rising, the kind of warmth that lives in wood-paneled walls and heavy curtains drawn against the night. You breathe in, and the air is different here, layered. There is the faint ghost of cigar smoke from some earlier hour, and beneath it, the deep, quiet scent of polished mahogany, of leather, of lamp oil burning low in its housing above the corridor. The attendant closes the door behind you. And outside, muffled now, softened. The rain continues to fall on the platform. But you are inside. And the Orient Express is waiting. Rest here for a moment. Let the warmth of that carriage settle over you. Your coat's still cool from the platform. The gold of the corridor lights just ahead. There is nothing to do now, nothing to decide. The train will do all the moving for you. The corridor stretches ahead of you. Long and narrow and warm. The walls are paneled in deep mahogany, wood that seems to hold the lamplight rather than reflect it, as though it has been slowly drinking in warmth for years, and grown rich with it. The carpet beneath your feet is thick, the color of burgundy wine, and your footsteps make almost no sound at all. Doors line the corridor to your right. Each one closed, each one identical, a small brass number set just above the handle, gleaming softly in the low light. You pass number 4, number 5, your fingertips trailing lightly along the wall. You stop at number 6. You reach into your coat pocket, and your fingers find the small, heavy key the attendant pressed into your hand, solid, reassuringly solid, with a little brass tag that catches the light. You slide it into the lock, and the door swings inward, quietly, on perfectly oiled hinges, without a single sound. You step inside. The cabin is small, and it is perfect. Not small in any way that crowds you, but small in the way that makes you feel held, contained, safe from the size of the world outside. Everything within arm's reach. Everything exactly as it should be. To your left, the window. Beyond the glass. Paris is still there, the platform lights smearing in the rain, long silver trails of water running sideways across the glass, and the sound it makes against the pane is barely a sound at all, more like the memory of sound. To your right, the bed. Already turned down. The sheets are white and pressed, folded back in a clean diagonal across the lower corner. The pillow is plump and cool and waiting. And across the foot of the bed, a blanket. Thick wool, the color of deep forest green, folded in a neat, heavy rectangle, and you reach out and press your palm flat against it. And it is exactly as heavy as you hoped it would be. You take your time. There is no hurry here. You hang your coat on the brass hook beside the door, and sit on the edge of the bed, and the mattress accepts your weight with a slow, generous give, just soft enough to make you realize, only now, only in this moment of sitting down, how much effort it takes to carry yourself through a day, and how rarely you give yourself permission to stop. You unlace your shoes. One, and then the other. And you set them side by side on the carpet. In the act of doing so, that small, ordinary gesture feels like the closing of a door on the day. Outside, a whistle sounds. Long and low, a single note that hangs in the wet air, and then dissolves. And then, beneath you, beneath the floor of the cabin, you feel it. The faintest trembling. The engine, beginning to breathe, a deep, subterranean shudder traveling up through the frame of the train, through the bed, and into your bones so gently, it is less a sensation than a suggestion. Something is beginning. You draw the wool blanket up over yourself, and its weight settles across you, heavy, and even, and warm. You turn your face toward the window. The platform lights are drifting now. Slowly, so slowly, the lampposts beginning to slide past the glass one by one. The dark figures on the platform standing still, while the world around them, gently, begins to move. The train is leaving Paris, and the rain is still falling. Feel that blanket across you, that slow, certain weight of it. The cabin is warm, the window is dark, the world outside is wet and very far away. You are moving now, you are being carried, there is nothing left to do. The city slides away behind you. You don't watch it go. Your eyes are soft against the window, not really looking, just resting on the glass, on the slow river of rainwater running sideways across it, each drop catching the last faint lights of the city, holding them for just a moment, a tiny bead of amber and silver, and then releasing them, letting them go, as the darkness beyond the window grows deeper and more complete. Paris is gone now, and there is only the night, and the rain. And beneath you, beneath the wool and the white linen and the warmth of this small room, the rails. You hear them before you truly notice them, the way you hear your own breathing when a room goes quiet. They were always there, underneath everything, but now, in the stillness of the cabin, with the lamp turned low and the curtain half drawn, you can hear them properly. Clack-clack, clack-clack. Steady, and even, and patient. Not loud, never loud, but present in the way that a heartbeat is present, felt as much as heard, a rhythm that lives somewhere beneath the surface of sound and travels upward through the mattress, through the pillow beneath your head, until it is simply part of you, part of your breathing, part of the slow loosening that is already beginning somewhere behind your eyes. Clack-clack, clack-clack. The rails are carrying you now. You are not driving, not navigating, not deciding anything at all. Every choice has already been made, the track laid down long before tonight, stretching out ahead of you through the wet French countryside, through sleeping villages and dark fields and forests full of rain, and all you must do, all that is asked of you in this moment, is simply to lie here and be carried. Clack-clack, clack-clack. The train moves through a small town. You sense it more than see it, a brief warmth of light against the ceiling of your cabin, the soft impression of a lit window somewhere in the dark, a church steeple perhaps, a lantern above a doorway, and then it is gone, swallowed back into the countryside, and the darkness returns, gentle and complete. Clack-clack, clack-clack. Somewhere further down the train, very far away, muffled by walls and corridors in the thick burgundy carpet of the passageway, you can just sense the presence of other passengers, the faint tremor of a door closing somewhere, the ghost of a conversation already too distant to hear as words, just tone, just the soft murmur of human voices in the dark, and then that too fades. And it is only you now. You, and the rain against the glass. You, and the warmth of the blanket across your chest. You, and the rails beneath you, counting out the miles in that slow, even rhythm that asks nothing of you, requires nothing of you, expects nothing of you. Clack-clack, clack-clack. Your shoulders are heavy against the mattress. You notice this the way you notice something that has always been true. Your shoulders have been carrying the day, carrying the week, and now, here, in the dark, in the warmth, with the rhythm of the rails moving through you like a slow tide, they are letting go. Not all at once, not dramatically, just slowly, the way tension always truly leaves, quietly, without announcement, a gradual softening, a small surrender that begins in the shoulders and moves downward, into the arms, into the hands resting open on the blanket. Your fingers uncurl slightly. Clack, 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 clack. The rain is heavier now over open country. You can hear it layered beneath the sound of the rails, a soft, continuous rushing, as though the whole world beyond the glass has become water, as though the train is moving not through France but through some quieter place entirely, a place made only of dark and rain and forward motion. And warmth. Always the warmth. Clack, 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 clack. You breathe in. And you breathe out. And the rails carry you onward through the night. Let that rhythm find you now. Clack, 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 clack. Steady as a clock that only counts the good hours. Your hands are open. Your shoulders are down. The rain is everywhere outside and you are warm and moving, and there is nothing, nothing at all, that needs your attention tonight. The lamp above your bed is very low now. Just a warm, amber suggestion of light, pooling softly against the wood-paneled wall beside you, not bright enough to read by, not bright enough to demand anything of your eyes, just enough to remind you that you are somewhere real, somewhere held, somewhere warm. Just enough to feel like a candle left on for you. You have been lying here for some time now. You are not sure exactly how long, and that not knowing feels like a gift. Time on this train moves differently than it does in the world you left behind. Back there, time is sharp-edged, divided into hours and obligations. But here, in this cabin, with the rails counting their patient rhythm beneath you and the rain drawing its silver lines across the glass, time is softened. It is simply the night, moving at its own pace, and you moving gently within it. Clack, 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 clack. Outside the window, France is asleep. You can feel it, even without seeing it clearly, the deep, particular stillness of countryside in the small hours. Fields lying flat and dark beneath the rain, long stretches of nothing but wet grass and low sky, and here and there, so briefly you might imagine them, the lights of a farmhouse, a single warm square of yellow in all that darkness, someone still awake at this hour, or perhaps a light left burning in an empty room, and then it is gone. Past in a breath. Gone before you could hold it. Clack, 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 clack. The train takes a long, slow curve somewhere in the dark. You feel it in your body before you understand it with your mind, a gentle, almost imperceptible lane, the blanket shifting slightly across you, the rain on the window changing its angle for just a moment, and then the curve straightens. And everything returns to its quiet order. Clack, 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 clack. You think of nothing in particular. This is the gift the train is giving you tonight, permission to let the mind go empty, not the forced emptiness of trying not to think, but the natural emptiness that comes when the body is warm enough, and the rhythm is steady enough, and there is simply nothing left that requires your attention. Thoughts drift through if they wish to. Soft and undemanding, like clouds crossing a dark sky, you notice them, and you let them pass, and one by one, they dissolve back into the darkness the way the farmhouse lights dissolved. There, and then gone. Clack, 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 clack. The smell of the cabin has become familiar to you now. the mahogany, the leather, the faint trace of lamp oil. It has simply become the smell of where you are, the smell of safety, absorbed into the background of this small warm world the way the sound of the rails has been absorbed. Your body knows it is safe here. It has been deciding this quietly, registering the steadiness of the rhythm, the constancy of the warmth, the absence of anything sharp or sudden or demanding. You are safe. You can let go. Clack, 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 clack. The rain shifts against the glass. A gust of wind sends it skating in long, trembling sheets across the window, and for just a moment the sound rises, a soft rushing, deeply and strangely comforting, the way a heavy rain on a roof is comforting when you are lying beneath it. Because the rain is out there, and you are in here. Warm wool across your chest, a pillow that has slowly accepted the shape of your head, and the rails beneath you as steady and reliable as breathing. Clack, 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 clack. Your eyes are heavy. Not the heavy of fighting sleep, but the soft, willing heaviness of eyes that are simply ready, that have decided on their own that there is nothing left tonight worth staying open for. Nothing left to watch for. Nothing left to guard against. The countryside moves through the dark beyond your window, wet and sleeping and vast, and the train moves through the countryside, and you move through the night inside the train, nested in warmth, in rhythm, in the deep unhurried patience of a journey that will take exactly as long as it takes. Breathe in and out. The lamp glows amber on the wall. The rain traces its silver lines across the glass. And somewhere far ahead in the dark, the engine breathes. And breathes. And breathes. The train has found its rhythm now. A deep, settled rhythm, like something that has always been true, like something that existed before you boarded and will continue long after you arrive, steady and unhurried and completely indifferent to the smallness of any single night. And you are resting inside it. Clack, 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 clack. The corridor outside your cabin is silent. You cannot hear footsteps, cannot hear voices. The whole long passageway of dark wood and low light has gone still, as though the other passengers have one by one surrendered to the night, retreated behind their own closed doors, pulled their own blankets up around their own shoulders, and released themselves into the same rhythm that is holding you now. All of you moving together through the dark. None of you knowing quite where the other is. Clack, 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 clack. The window is fogged very slightly at its edges. Just at the corners of the glass, where the warmth of the cabin meets the cold of the night beyond, a soft gray blurring, like the edges of a photograph left too long in the light, and through the clear center of the pane the rain is still falling, still streaking sideways across the glass in those long silver lines that seem to go on forever. You watch them without watching them. Your eyes open just enough to see, not enough to focus, the rain becoming simply a texture, a soft silver movement at the edge of your awareness, like the turning of leaves in a distant tree, present and gentle, and asking nothing of you at all. Clack, 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 clack. Somewhere outside, in the deep wet dark of the countryside, a river runs alongside the tracks for a while. You cannot see it clearly, just a faint suggestion of it, a darkness that moves differently than the fields, a low gleam when the clouds thin for just a moment and some pale light finds the water below, and then the clouds close again, and the river is gone, folded back into the night. But you felt it there. That quiet, parallel moving. Two things traveling in the same direction through the dark, the river finding its way by gravity and patience, the train finding its way by iron and intention, and neither one in any hurry. Clack, 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 clack. Your breathing has slowed. You may not have noticed this, the way you rarely notice the moment a room cools in the evening, or the moment the last light leaves the sky. It happens in the spaces between your attention, gradually, without announcement. But your chest rises now more slowly than it did an hour ago, and falls more slowly. And the pause between the falling and the rising again has grown longer, and softer, and somewhere in that pause, in that small, still space between one breath and the next, there is the most extraordinary quiet. Nothing is required of you there. Nothing at all. Clack, 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 clack. The wool blanket has grown warm from you now. It is no longer the blanket warming you, you have warmed each other, the heat of your body held close by the weight of the wool, and the weight of the wool pressing gently back against you, and the two of you have reached some perfect agreement in the dark, some wordless arrangement of warmth and weight that makes the idea of moving, the idea of being anywhere other than exactly here, completely unthinkable. Clack, 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 clack. The rain eases for just a moment. Not stopping, never quite stopping tonight, but softening, drawing back to a fine, whispering mist against the glass, and in that softening you can hear the rails more clearly, their rhythm rising slightly in the quiet, patient and even and true. Clack, 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 clack. And then the rain returns. Gently, as if it never left, layering itself back over the sound of the rails like a blanket drawn back up over a shoulder in the night. And everything is as it was. And everything is perfectly still within its motion. You are crossing the sleeping continent. Field by field, village by village, river by river. And you are warm. And you are held. And the night is very long, and very soft, and entirely yours. Clack, 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 clack. Breathe in. Slowly. And out. Slowly. There is nowhere else to be. There never was. There is a particular kind of darkness that only exists in the small hours. Not the darkness of early evening, which still carries the memory of daylight in it. Not the darkness of a room with curtains drawn, which knows that light exists just beyond the fabric. This is the darkness of 3 in the morning. The darkness that has forgotten daylight entirely, that exists in its own complete and sovereign world, and outside your window it stretches in every direction, over the fields and the forests and the slow rivers of France, absolute and soft and ancient. And you are moving through the heart of it. Clack, 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 clack. Earlier this evening, in what feels now like another life entirely, you sat in the dining car. You may let that memory come if it wishes to. The long mahogany table, the white linen pressed so crisply it held its folds like sculpture, the single candle in its silver holder casting a small, warm circle of light that swayed very gently with the motion of the train, never quite going out, never quite staying still. The wine was a deep burgundy, almost black in the candlelight. And the glass was cold at first when you lifted it, and then slowly, as you held it, it took the warmth of your hand, and the wine breathed, and the smell of it rose to meet you, dark fruit, and oak, and something older than either. You did not drink it quickly. There was no reason to drink it quickly. Clack, 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 clack. The waiter moved through the dining car the way the train moved through the countryside, with a quiet, unhurried confidence, as though he had done this 10,000 times before, and would do it 10,000 times again, and found in that repetition not tedium, but a kind of deep and private satisfaction. He refilled your glass without being asked, and you watched the candle. And the rain moved across the windows of the dining car in the same long silver lines it moves across your cabin window now, and the world outside was dark, and the world inside was gold, and somewhere beneath the table the rails counted their patient measure. Clack, 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 clack. That meal is finished now. The dining car is dark and empty, the white linen still on the tables, the candles blown out, the wine glasses washed and put away in their velvet-lined cases, everything returned to its proper order, waiting quietly for morning. And you are here, in the warm dark of your cabin, full and still and heavy with the particular contentment of a body that has been well fed, and well warmed, and carried for hours through the night without being asked to do anything at all in return. Clack, 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 clack. The wood of the cabin walls holds a faint warmth of its own by now. You noticed this earlier when you rested your hand briefly against the paneling beside the bed. It was not cold the way you might expect would to be in the night. It had absorbed the heat of the lamp, the heat of your presence in this small room, and given it back to the air around you. The whole cabin breathing warmth. Slowly and evenly, like something alive. Clack, 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 clack. Your body is extraordinarily heavy now. Not the heavy of exhaustion, not the leaden weight of a day that demanded too much and gave too little back, but the heavy of complete release, the weight of a body that has finally, fully, stopped trying. Your legs have forgotten the platform at the Gare de Lyon. Your shoulders have forgotten whatever they were carrying when you arrived. Your hands lie open on the blanket, soft and still and empty. Clack, 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 clack. Outside, the rain continues its long, patient conversation with the glass. And the darkness continues its long, patient conversation with the fields. And the rails continue their long, patient conversation with the miles. And none of them need anything from you. Not a single thing. Breathe in and out. The wine, the wood, the warmth, the rain. Clack, 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 clack. Let it all hold you now. Every last bit of it. Let it hold you. At some point tonight, the train will cross a border. You will not know exactly when. There will be no announcement, no dramatic slowing of the wheels, no change in the rain or the darkness or the rhythm beneath you, just the quiet, invisible moment when one country becomes another, when the fields outside your window belong to a different name on a different map. And you will sleep straight through it. Clack, 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 clack. This is one of the small, private miracles of a night train. That the world can reorganize itself entirely while you lie still, that borders can be crossed and languages changed and the names of rivers and towns can shift from one tongue to another, and none of it requires a single thing from you. The train knows where it is going. It has always known. Clack, 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 clack. The rain over the borderlands is heavier tonight. You can hear it in the way it meets the glass, a slightly fuller sound, a deeper rushing beneath the familiar silver streaking, as though the clouds here have been saving themselves, gathering weight over the flat lands to the west, and have finally, here, at the edge of things, let themselves go. It is not an unpleasant sound. It is the sound of release. And you know something about that now. Clack, 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 clack. The lamp on the wall is burned down to almost nothing. Just the faintest amber thread of light, barely there, more a warmth than a brightness now, and the cabin is settled into a darkness that is almost complete, almost, but not quite. The way sleep is almost complete, but not quite, still aware somewhere of the warmth and the motion and the rain. Still aware that you are held. Clack, 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 clack. You think, without quite meaning to, of the distance you have already covered. Paris is hours behind you now, its boulevards and bridges and lit cafe windows receding into a past that feels soft and dreamlike, and ahead of you, somewhere in the wet dark, the shape of the continent continues to unfold. Switzerland perhaps, then Austria, the land slowly gathering itself upward toward mountains that you will not see tonight, that exist for now only as a distant promise in the dark. But you are not thinking about arriving. Arriving is tomorrow's concern. Tonight there is only this, only the moving, only the rain and the warmth and the slow revolution of the wheels on the iron track. Clack, 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 clack. Your mind has grown very quiet now. Not empty exactly, but quiet in the way a house is quiet when everyone in it is asleep, things still present, furniture still in its place, but all of it resting, all of it released from the business of being used or noticed or attended to. Thoughts exist somewhere in there, but they are far away. Like lights seen from a moving train, briefly present, and then gone before they can ask anything of you. There, and then gone. Clack, 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 clack. The border slides beneath the wheels without ceremony. One country to another. The rain does not change. The dark does not change. The rails do not change. Only the name of the ground beneath you, and you will learn that name tomorrow, over coffee, watching the morning come in through this same window, but that is tomorrow. And tomorrow is very far away. Clack, 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 clack. For now there is only the crossing. The quiet, continuous crossing. Through rain, through dark, through the sleeping heart of a continent that has been here long before you, and will be here long after. And the train carries you through all of it. Steadily. Patiently. Without a single hesitation. Breathe in. And out. You are somewhere in the middle of the night now. Somewhere in the middle of everything. And it is enough. It is more than enough. Clack, 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 clack. The land is changing beneath you now. You cannot see it in the dark, but you can feel it. The way the train leans differently into its curves, not the long, lazy curves of the flat French countryside, but something slightly tighter, slightly more deliberate, as though the track is beginning to negotiate with the earth rather than simply cross it, finding its way between things rather than over them. The land is rising. Slowly, imperceptibly, but rising. Clack, clack, clack-clack. Somewhere far ahead in the darkness, mountains are waiting. They are patient the way only very old things can be patient. They have watched 1,000 trains move through their valleys in rain and snow and summer light, and they will watch 1,000 more, and the watching costs them nothing, and the passing of each train changes them not at all. They are simply there, as they have always been. Clack-clack, clack-clack. The rain against your window sounds different here. You may have noticed this without knowing you noticed it, a slight change in its texture, in the way it meets the glass, as though the drops have traveled further to reach you, fallen from a higher place, gathered more of the cold on their way down. It is the cold of altitude. The clean, particular cold of high places. And even through the warmth of your cabin, even through the wool and the wood and the amber remains of the lamp, you can sense it out there, pressing gently against the glass, kept at a perfect distance, close enough to remind you it exists, far enough to cause you no trouble at all. Clack-clack, clack-clack. Your body has found its final position now. You will recognize this if you pay attention, the small, subtle settling that happens when the body stops making tiny adjustments, when the shoulder finds exactly the right angle against the mattress, when the knee finds exactly the right degree of bend, when the neck releases the last fraction of tension it has been holding without your knowledge. And everything, simply, arrives. This is where you have been heading all evening. Not toward a destination on a map, but toward this particular arrangement of warmth and weight and stillness. This precise degree of letting go. Clack-clack, clack-clack. Outside, the mountains hold the darkness differently than the plains did. The plains let the dark spread itself thinly across vast distances, a wide, flat darkness with room to breathe. But here the darkness is gathered, held between slopes and ridgelines, pooled in valleys, dense and soft and close. And the train moves through these pockets of darkness one by one. Each valley its own small world. Each one entered and crossed and left behind before you can know it fully. Clack-clack, clack-clack. There is a stream somewhere below the track. You can sense it in the sound, a faint, liquid threading beneath the rhythm of the rails, water finding its way down through the dark by feel alone. No map, no lamp, just the pull of the earth and the patience to follow it. Down and down and down, through the mountain dark, and the train follows its own path above, and you rest within the train, and the rain falls over all of it, softly, without hurry, without end. Clack-clack, clack-clack. Let your eyes close a little more now. Just a little more. The mountains will pass without your needing to see them. They have been doing exactly that for centuries. Breathe in. The cool, the dark, the deep. And out. Slowly. You are in the mountains now. And the mountains ask nothing of you. Nothing at all. Clack-clack, clack-clack. There is a word for this hour. Not the late evening, not the small hours, not quite the approach of dawn, but the hour that exists between all of those things, the hour that belongs to no category, that slips between the named parts of the night like water through fingers. This is that hour. And the train moves through it without effort. Clack, 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 clack. You have been traveling for a long time now. Long enough that the train no longer feels like something you boarded. It feels like something you have always been inside. Like the motion has always been there beneath you. Like the rain has always been there at the glass. Like the warmth has always been exactly this warmth. And the dark has always been exactly this dark. The world before the platform at the Gare de Lyon feels very thin from here. Very far. Like something you read about once in a book. Clack, 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 clack. Your breath is very slow now. In through the nose, cool and quiet, filling the chest so gently that the blanket barely rises. And out, even more slowly, a long, soft release that takes everything with it, every last trace of the day, every last remnant of effort or tension or holding on. Out and gone. Out and gone. Clack, 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 clack. The rain has been with you all night. It was there when you stood on the platform in Paris with the cold finding the gap at your collar. It was there when the train pulled slowly out of the city and the last lights blurred and dissolved. It was there through the flat fields of France and the borderlands and the mountain valleys. And it is here now. Still patient, still present, still drawing its slow silver lines across the glass as though it has all the time in the world. Because it does. The rain has all the time in the world. Clack, 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 clack. Something is loosening in you that you did not know was held. It happens sometimes like this, not in the first hour of rest, not even in the second, but deep in the night, when the body has finally exhausted its habit of vigilance, when the mind has finally run out of things to turn over and examine and prepare for. Something underneath all of that. Something older and quieter than thought. Simply opens. And you feel it as a kind of warmth that has nothing to do with the blanket, a warmth that begins somewhere in the center of the chest and spreads outward, slowly, into the arms, into the hands, down through the body into the legs, all the way to the feet. A warmth that is simply you. Resting in yourself at last. Clack, 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 clack. The mountains are behind you now. The land has begun its long, gradual descent toward the eastern plains, and the curves have eased again, and the rhythm of the rails has settled back into that long, even, unhurried beat that has been the heartbeat of this night from the very beginning. Steady. Steady. Clack, 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 clack. Let your jaw go soft. Let your hands go heavy. Let the space behind your eyes go dark and wide and quiet. There is nothing to see there. Nothing to find. Nothing to solve or carry or remember. Just the dark. And the warmth. And the rain. And the rails counting their patient miles beneath you. One by one by one. Carrying you. All the way through the night. Clack, 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 clack. Breathe in. And out. You are almost there now. That place that has no name. That place that the body finds. When it finally, let's go. The train moves on. As it has always moved. As it will always move. Clack, 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 clack. And you are somewhere now that is not quite waking and not quite sleeping. That soft, borderless country that exists between the two. where the sounds of the world are still just barely present, the rain, the rails, the faint creak of the wood settling around you, but they reach you now from a great and gentle distance, like sounds heard from underwater, like sounds remembered rather than heard. Clack, 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 clack. The blanket is everything now. Its weight across your chest is the whole world, warm and even and completely sufficient, and beneath it your body has dissolved into the mattress so gradually, so completely, that you are no longer sure where you end and the bed begins. And it does not matter. It does not matter at all. Clack, 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 clack. The rain is still there at the glass. You can just hear it, just. That soft, continuous whispering, older than the train, older than the tracks laid down through the heart of Europe, older than any of the borders the train has crossed tonight without ceremony or fuss. The rain has been falling on this land for 10,000 years. And tonight, on this particular stretch of darkness, it falls for you. Gently. Without agenda. Simply accompanying you. All the way to the edge of sleep. Clack, 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 clack. There is nothing left to do now. You have done everything that was asked of you tonight. You found the platform in the rain. You climbed the steps into the golden light. You unlaced your shoes and set them side by side on the carpet. You drew the blanket up, and you let the train do the rest. That is all it ever asked of you. Just that. Just the willingness to be carried. And you gave it. And here you are. Clack, 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 clack. Let the sound of the rails be the last thing. Not a thought, not a plan, not a memory asking to be revisited one more time before the dark. Just the rails. Clack, clack. Just the rain. Just the warmth. Clack. The train knows where it is going. It has always known. And you are safe inside it. Completely. Perfectly. Safe. Clack, clack. Breathe out. One last long breath. All the way out. Until there is nothing left to release. And then, simply, do not breathe back in quite yet. Rest in that space. That quiet. That perfect. Wordless. Dark. Clack. 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 The Orient Express moves on through the rain. Through the sleeping continent. Through the long and gentle night. And you are already gone.